So right now I'm going to stitch the row, all the pieces, all my blocks for a row. And this one happens to be the second row. I'm down to 2 more of these rows to make, and then I will be able to stitch my rows all the way together to each other, and that'll be pretty nice. That will get my Delectable Mountains quilt top made up. So I have, I actually put my post-it note at the furthest left block, so I have this one and then the block next to it that I'm going to stitch together really fast. I'm just pinning this. Since this is joining together down lower, it's a bit easier to pin. And I have my beginner, some people call it a leader, so it's like that works too, but I call it beginners and enders. Okay, and then I just want to make sure that I'm stitching that down that way. Okay, that's the first one. Now I just continue. Alright, so now I will be stitching, each of these rows has 8 blocks, so now I will be stitching the first 4 blocks together. You might want to snip off this little beginner ender piece here. I can get to it. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this one was 3 and 4, and there we go. So those go like that, and okay, I think I'm doing a fingernail press this way. Nice thing is when I'm pressing these, then I can make sure that I get the rows going, pressing in the direction so that I can get these pieces nesting. So here we go. Get more of this stitched up. Okay. Get those pieces together pretty well. Okay. And then line them up here. Little parts. Okay. Okay. Alright. And then I'm snipping these off individually at the end because I can't tell without looking at my picture as easily. Okay. Those first 2 I had really well, but this one I ended up kind of having that be not quite to the point there like I wanted, but things happen. So, let's see, this one though. This one came out pretty nicely on the point. And it looks like the first 2 did. So Alright. So right now I have some material that I am ironing. I think I'm down to the final 2 on the ironing, so this is good. So, as you can see, number 2. Okay, so I'm looking at number 3. I have that one pressed that direction, so I want to press this direction. And yeah, so I'll have to go against what I had pressed on that. And I did a finger press with the machine. And there we go. That looks pretty good. And then everything needs to go in that other direction. There, that's nice. And then sometimes it's kind of nice to just put some extra down. I felt like I wasn't really seeing that first seam floating the direction I wanted it to. Okay. So, each one of these rows is a total of 8 of these Delectable Mountain blocks put together. Or you could think of it as 4, because it's 2 blocks that make that mountain shape. So, but since I'm staggering this, it's effectively 8 blocks. Okay. Good. Down to the last 2 seams for this row. That's nice. And the final one. My whole row wants to puddle on the floor here. Okay, that looks nice. And then I take this, I have that fitting nicely that way. So I'm going to reinforce this with spray starch. This is just regular stuff that you get from the grocery store. Brand doesn't really matter particularly. I know that a lot of people will use the brands that you can get from quilt shops. I remember one of the Thorns and Porter people saying that they use the grocery store stuff, and you know, if it's good enough for them and what they do, and I think it's probably good enough for what I do. I could save my money for really nice fabric instead, or nice thread. There we go. Alright, I just have another 5 of those junctions. I'd like to try to do a little bit. Door. Now that I've pressed rows, I am ready to pin the rows together. So this one right here, this one's number 3, and this one's number 4. and I had them stacked, so the 3 was above the 4. So the way that this is going to get pinned is the 4 is going to be on the bottom, and 3 is going to be on the top, like that. And because of how I pressed these, they're now nesting. So that one's going this way to that side, and oops, okay, I was gonna say, and then this one's going that way. So they're nesting. So what I want to do, I like to pin right at these junctions. Like that. And then here's another junction. Let's see. Oh, I don't have that in the right space. Okay. Just a little bit over there. There we go. That's better. So, pin at the junction. And also just pin at the very, very end. I mean, not completely at the end. I'm going to pin where it's actually these little pieces here. So, alright. And here we go. That's where it's nesting. So, right there, got one going that way, got this gray one going that way. So where it needs to be. There's another point. And part of why you want to pin this way is because even after you starch, the fabric is still going to have some bias. Bias means it stretches. And it stretches a little bit. It doesn't stretch a bunch. You know, it's not like a knit t-shirt or something. But it has some stretch to it. And so you can ease either the top layer or the bottom layer to match with the other opposite layer so that your rows come together and you have all of your blocks lining up the way that you want it. So here we go. It feels real nice. Okay, and then I like to just pin right at the edge there. So that, I want to get real precise. Pin that, spear that through the other point. And we'll see how well that one works with the machine. Okay, I'm ready to go here with stitching rows together. Alright. So I'm just gonna spear that little guy there, and then spear it through the other side of that, see where that lines up. Okay. That's pretty good. It's not too bad. Okay. Some people have stilettos. I just use the stick pen. Someday I'll have a stiletto. Okay. Like I said, I can just kind of gently stretch this to get these layers to even up on their feed. They're pretty good. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Alright. And looks like everything is actually pressed in the same direction. look like they're going to match up pretty well. We'll see. And the reveal at the end. Okay, and I did have that positioned in pretty decent spot initially. Here we go. That looks nice. Oh yes, letting those feed dogs carry it along, because that's the purpose of them. Right there. Let me get that on there. Okay, very nice. Okay. Now for the reveal. Alright. Let's see how I did. Look at that, not bad. I mean, that's not bad. That's really not bad at all. You know, of course I expect the block points to be pretty good, and they are. But, you know, the big thing is like these. Yeah, I'm a little bit off there. Yeah. But I'm right, you know, I'm right on. I'm right on right there. That looks really nice. So, and let's see. Yeah, I'm looking pretty good on this one as well. And, yep, that one got a little cut off. This one right here, that one got a little bit cut off. And then, oh, the end one. Look at the end one. Look at how well the end one turned out. Look at that. That is pretty much a perfect point. That is really nice. So now that I've sewn some rows together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the seams open where I've joined the rows. So like I've done that on those two rows. So I'm getting ready to press these two rows, the seam for these two rows, getting ready to press that open. Ta-da! This is the quilt top for the Delectable Mountains Quilt, and I think it looks pretty good. So coming on in, you could see how all these bright batiks look great. I just love the purple and the green together. That's always been a quirk of mine. This particular layer cake pack was a lot of purple and green batiks. It goes great with the gray fabric that I chose for the background. That fabric is actually a print, and you can see that on the other side. And I think it goes really well with this batik because it's a print that looks like it's been dyed. I don't know when I will get around to quilting this up the rest of the way and finishing it. So right now it's just a top. I'm sure a lot of you can relate, as once you've been quilting a while, we build up tops and don't necessarily get around to quilting them right away. Sorry it took so long for me to get the second part of this video done. I got distracted by shorts, if you can't tell, on my channel. At the time of this filming, I published 28 shorts with several more I've filmed and just haven't edited yet, and more I'm continually thinking up and producing. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this tutorial for the easy-to-make Delectable Mountains Quilt. If you found this video interesting and useful, please put a like on it, as that really helps. Thanks for watching!